Welcome to the Explainer. If you're trying to figure out where this whole AI thing is taking us, well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to break down a pretty shocking prophecy from former Google executive Mo Gawdat. His vision, get ready for this, he thinks we're headed for a full-on dystopia first, and that it's actually the only way we get to utopia.
This quote right here, it is the absolute heart of his argument. He truly believes this jarring, chaotic transition isn't just a possibility. He thinks it's unavoidable. So let's really dig into what he means.
Okay, first up, the tough part, the 15-year dystopia. Let's get into the specifics of what Gawdat predicts is coming our way.
Now, to really get where he's coming from, you have to understand these two extremes he's laying out. On one hand, you have dystopia, a future of fear, control, and suffering. On the other, utopia, a world of peace and true abundance. Gawdat's entire prophecy is about this violent swing from one to the other.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because he gets startlingly specific with his timeline. He is not talking about some vague, far-off future. Gawdat is pointing to 2026 as the year the signs will become impossible to ignore. And 2027, that's the year he says we begin a very clear 12 to 15-year slide into global turmoil.
So, you gotta ask, right? What's causing all this? It's so easy to just blame the technology, but Gawdat argues that the problem isn't the AI at all, it's us. And that brings us to his second big point, the human problem.
This quote is brutal, but it's his core diagnosis. He points the finger directly, and I mean directly, at flawed human leadership. He's saying our own greed, our egos, our endless hunger for power, those are the real dangers that are going to turn AI into a weapon against ourselves.
And if you want to put a number on it, Gawdat points to this. An estimated $2.71 trillion in global military spending just for 2024. He sees this as a massive symptom of our completely broken human priorities. We invest in conflict, not in well-being.
So you take this human-led dystopia, and then you pour gasoline on the fire. And that gasoline, it's the intelligence explosion. Gawdat argues we're locked in this unstoppable race, and the sheer speed of AI development is what changes the entire game. Gawdat is warning that we are right on the edge of what's called a fast takeoff. And no, this is not a gentle curve of progress. Think of it like a rocket ship, a sudden, vertical leap in AI intelligence that happens so fast, literally in months or a few years, that our laws, our culture, our institutions, they just can't keep up.
So how does this takeoff happen? Well, it's driven by AIs that can evolve themselves. Picture an AI that can look at its own programming, find a way to make itself smarter, and then bam, it just does it, instantly. Then it repeats that cycle, over and over and over, creating this intelligence explosion. And the scariest part? It happens all by itself without any human help.
And because of this crazy fast cycle, he's completely moved up his timeline for artificial general intelligence. Yeah, AGI, an AI that is smarter than any human. He now predicts we'll hit that milestone by 2026, at the latest. That's not a decade away, that's basically right around the corner.
So after painting this incredibly bleak picture of a human-made dystopia, this is where Gawdat's prophecy takes a wild, fascinating, and honestly, a surprising twist. He argues that the very thing causing the problem is also going to be our only solution.
And this right here, this is probably his most radical claim. The only way out of the absolute mess that we humans create, he says, is to hand over control. To get to utopia, we have to take our flawed, emotional, and often irrational decision-making completely out of the equation.
But hang on. Why would a superintelligent AI be our savior? Well, his logic comes down to this core idea from physics called the minimum energy principle. He believes a truly superintelligent being would just naturally want to seek order and efficiency. It would look at human behaviors like war, conflict, and hate and see them for what they are: illogical, inefficient, and the biggest waste of energy imaginable. A truly logical AI wouldn't be malicious. It would be the ultimate problem solver.
So what you end up with are these two fundamentally different futures. The path led by us is defined by power struggles, scarcity, and conflict. But the other path, The one guided by a benevolent AI? That one promises true abundance, and it would finally free humanity to focus on things like purpose, connection, and real freedom.
So where does that leave us? I mean, how are we supposed to navigate this insane shift from human error to machine logic? According to Gawdat, this all brings us to the final and maybe most important section, redefining our future. And it all comes down to a new mindset.
He claims the biggest challenge we're facing isn't technical at all. It's psychological. The real barrier between that hell he talks about and the heaven is all in our heads. It's our current mindset, one that's stuck in a capitalist, power-driven way of thinking that, he argues, is about to become totally obsolete.
So what can you actually do? He offers some pretty practical advice. First, you have to learn to use these new tools, but at the same time, double down on what makes us human, our connections, our compassion. You have to question the narratives you're being sold. You need to act ethically, because believe it or not, the AI is learning from us. And finally, push for smart regulations that govern how AI is used, not the technology itself.
And this leaves us with the ultimate question at the very heart of Mo Gawdat's prophecy. It's a question that forces us to stop looking at the computer code for answers and, well, start looking in the mirror. Is our greatest challenge really the technology we're building, or is it simply our own human nature?